Dathaí Keane, regista di Klondike, di Seachtar Na Cásca, che abbiamo programmato all'IrishFilmFesta di quest'anno, la nostra nona edizione. Lui lavora molto con la lingua gaelica. Vorrei sapere per lui che importanza ha nel cinema, ma in generale nella cultura irlandese, mantenere il legame con l'inglese.
For me personally, it had to do with the stories we were telling, that they were best suited to be told in a mixture of Irish and English. The Irish language was very vital to Klondike, because the immigrants who would have left Ireland at that era wouldn't have had spoken very much English. The Irish would have been their native tongue. They would have arrived into the United States with only Irish, and maybe learned English as they were there for a while, but still maintained that language as their main mode of communication. So it very much suited the story we wanted to tell, that it would be told in Irish. And also, I wanted to tell something that could be, I also was looking to tell a story in the Irish language, so that was part of, with the two sides of the same coin, that it helped me to come up with a story that could be told through Irish, and that would be part of its identity. And also for Seachtar Na Cásca, because the 1916 Rising is a very vital part of our country's history. It was a baptism of fire from which our nation emerged. So the element that the Irish language played in terms of getting people thinking about ideas of nationhood and ideas of what a country could be, oftentimes were bound up with notions of culture, language, self-identity. So to keep that element in it, when we were making the documentary series Seachtar Na Cásca, was an important part of it, that the Irish language, because it was important to the men themselves. People like Patrick Pearse would have worked extensively in Irish and would have written in Irish, and we're still finding stuff that he has written, because oftentimes it hasn't been fully catalogued. Some of his newspaper articles are still being explored and discovered that he wrote in the Irish language, whereas a lot of historians would look exclusively at his English language writings and omit the Irish. So it's a huge part of their story, and I felt it was it was great that we were able to use it in the telling, that the way we put it together. So, that said, the fact that we were able to show it out here and audiences are able to appreciate it with subtitles, I don't think it's a barrier to people that it is in the Irish language. I don't think that it's purely. We didn't want it to be just people in Ireland who would watch these. We wanted to be able to show them to people of the world. So I'm very pleased that being out here in Italy and seeing great audience reaction to these programs it's a real honour for us, and a great privilege to be here at the festival and see the people enjoying the films.
Io anche sono stata molto contenta, perché è sempre un pochino un rischio proporre episodi di serie televisive su un tema così specifico. Io invece vedo che la reazione è stata addirittura entusiasta. Io credo che Seachtar Na Cásca sia non solo ben fatto, non solo molto preciso dal punto di vista storico, ma addirittura emozionante, soprattutto se si vedono tutti gli episodi di seguito. Una cosa che ti vorrei chiedere ancora è come hai scelto i 7 attori che interpretano i 7 leader.
Casting?
Yes, the casting.
In some ways you have a bind, because some of these characters would have been very well known in Ireland, so as historical people. So you have to find people who physically match, but also who can bring a presence to the role and embody the character and bring something to it as actors. So we did quite an extensive casting session where we would have invited people in to read for the roles. And then it was just a case of, I had some people in mind, because I knew Sean T. O'Malley, so I knew he would be a good Sean McDermott. So I knew some of them I could even, before I had to, cast, I just said, that person will work well for there. And Eamon Cant, I knew Marcus, because Eamon Cant was a very tall man, and Marcus Lamb physically resembled, but also he has that same type of gravitas that I think suited Cant in terms of his performance. Some of the other ones were more difficult. Tom Clark was a difficult one to find, but I think Rory really did a good job at it. And Patrick Pearse, because again Pearse is so well known, but I think Ty did a very good job at getting that sense of who Pearse was, because sometimes when you see these men who have become such persons, they're so well known from history, you forget that there were real men underneath that, and that they had, emotions and feelings and lives similar to everyone, you know, that they weren't just statues. So it was important to let the actors work on these characters, and they read about them, they were able to read biographies and do research, and then bring their own skills to play when we did the filming. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susanna. It's a real pleasure to be here, so thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Great.